Hello and welcome to TheFederal. Criticism has been mounting against the Transgender Persons Amendment Bill 2026, with many in the community calling for its unconditional withdrawal. We speak to Raghavi, a trans woman and a practicing lawyer at the Delhi High Court, to understand the constitutional and legal implications of the bill and what it largely means for the protection of transgender persons in India. Welcome to TheFederal, Raghavi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, I wanted to understand what are your main sort of objections to the bill. And in doing that, I also wanted to know that one of the things you've been saying is that this goes against the NALSA verdict of 2014. So, when we, trace that journey from the NALSA judgment of 2014 and to the Transgender Persons Act of 2019, in that trajectory, where do you see this bill kind of fitting in? I mean, is it in that trajectory or is it, completely deviating from it?
See, the thing is that the problem is not just with one or two provisions that are being proposed with this bill, the changes that are being proposed with this bill. The bill in its entirety has a whole lot of issues. The bill in its entirety poses existential threat to trans people in India, and we want the bill to go back. We want it to be withdrawn. First point. Now, second point is that why do we want that? We want that because the provisions that are being introduced, the proposed changes, the amendments, they are going to go very much against the spirit of the Constitution. It is going to go against the NALSA judgment of 2014, where categorically it was held that a person's right to self determination is a fundamental right under Article 21 of the Constitution. And now we have a bill that proposes to take that very right away. So it is, if it at all happens, then it is going to be a very regressive step in the queer rights movement. We are going to go back to what era we don't know, and that is the problem with it, because the definition is being narrowed down, the bureaucratic and medical gatekeeping is being brought. Then you also have the criminal identity being criminalized. So, in its entirety, the bill is unconstitutional.
Okay,
Not the
can you
bill,
just
idea behind is and how it is going to actually affect the lives.
right? Okay, there are two things you mentioned right now. One is the definition of it's no longer self. You can't determine yourself as a transgender person, right? So now, what is the new definition? Can you just give me an idea? And what do you mean by medical gatekeeping?
So the thing is that uh, when I say that the definition is being narrowed down, the definition as it is today, as it stands today in the act itself, it covers a whole lot of identities which were also kind of go back to the Nalsa judgment. It is in a sense taken from there, and also internationally what the definition has been. It was only tailored to also include the socio-cultural identities that exist in India. Now we have a definition which looks at transgender persons or transgender as an umbrella term and includes a whole lot of identities, which includes trans men, non-binary people. It also includes genderqueer, trans people who are related to socio-cultural identities or who are not related to any socio-cultural identity. People like me who can be lawyers also, doctors also, working in offices also. Now, the new definition restricts it to three broad categories. One is the sociocultural identities, where they include only four sociocultural identities: Hijra, Kinnar, Jokta, and Aravani. Now, there are other sociocultural identities beyond these four. So they have not recognized the other sociocultural identities, and we don't know what the basis for that is. Second is that they confuse transgender with intersex, and they look at intersex persons as transgender persons and remove the definition. They propose to remove the definition of intersex person. And now covering them within the definition of transgender person. Third thing is that they talk about people who have been forced into being a transgender person. I don't know who these people are that they're referring to, because there is no credible evidence to suggest that. As a member of the community, I don't know of such people who have been forced to acquire that identity, or identity has been imposed on them. So these are the three broad categories. Beyond that, they have erased everyone, be it trans men, be it genderqueer people, and these proposed changes are then actually going to render a lot of people clueless as to what they should do, how they should move forward.
Yeah, so connected to that, I wanted to ask you that as per the existing definition, there would be people naturally who have already got transgender certificates, who the state right now recognizes as transgender. So if this bill is passed, it becomes an act. What does it mean for their legal protections going
See, the
forward?
thing is that we don't know yet what will happen. Whether they are going to amend the rules also that are there with the Transgender Persons Protection Act. We don't know. We don't have any idea. We can only go take a guess or assume or interpret it in different ways. But as of now, it remains unanswered, and there is a lot of uncertainty and vagueness around the phrasing of the proposed changes also. So we feel that it might create a situation where a whole lot of people within the community have no identity at all, and their identities are erased, their bodies are erased, and that will create a whole lot of issues, be it logistical, be it procedural, and will hamper a lot of accessibility, be it access to healthcare, be it access to employment, be it access to education. So as of now, we don't know, and we can only guess, and I'm avoiding that because it can just create a situation of panic.
Right, I understand. Okay. I will go back to again something you said earlier, which is you said they've introduced medical gatekeeping. So, if you could explain to me what that means, and also, does it in any way link to the apprehensions and not apprehensions, rather concerns you have about data and surveillance?
So the thing is that they want to change the proposed changes to section 6 and section 7 of the act. Now, this earlier, or as of now, what you can do is you give an affidavit, you file an application through the portal or through DM, and you get your ID cards within the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act. Now, what they are trying to do is they are trying to bring more layers. So you get your medical procedure done, then you go to a medical board, then that medical board forwards the recommendations to the district magistrate. Then district magistrate, if uh, he or she wants to give you the ID card, issue you the ID card, they'll do that. However, if, and the proposed changes use this language, if desirable or if necessary, then they can seek uh, additional recommendations and assistance from other medical experts, and then it will again come back to the district magistrate. So this is going to be a 5 layer process, and you will be left, because even it is very difficult to get your TGID card or your certificate of identity within the existing unamended act, and it takes sometimes years. And that is the reason why we have only 32,000 trans people who have those ID cards. It is a very, very small figure, and we need to understand, because in their statement of objects and reasons, they say that we want to make sure that only the real people and only the people who have faced violence and issues and been deprived because of their identity get access to these welfare schemes. But they don't tell what these welfare schemes are. They don't tell that how they are being misappropriated and misused by the people that they don't consider real. So there are a lot of questions and doubts there, and with whole lot of medical keeping and bureaucratic layers and levels they are trying to introduce, it is going to become impossible for people to even get their transgender ID cards and their certificates of gender identity within the proposed new uh, regime.
Right. And so you're also, are you also concerned that with so many layers, your data is being passed on to so
Yes,
many
that's
different?
reminding me. That's because they also want to. They have also proposed Section 71A, which makes it mandatory for medical institutions to share data of gender affirming surgeries with the district authorities. Now, there is going to be my healthcare records, my medical health records now are going to be shared within the state authorities, and we don't know how far it will go. And isn't it directly infringes my right to privacy. We have a nine bench judgment of the Supreme Court, the Puttaswamy judgment, where they clearly talked about right to privacy and how it is essential to very existence of a human being. And now we have a situation where it is being attacked and infringed upon. So, as I said earlier, that if you read the proposed changes in their entirety, you realize that nothing in this act is good. Nothing in this bill, I'm so sorry, is good.
Right. And so if I'm correct, the point you said about going through a medical procedure, is that mandatory too? If you're identifying as a trans person, do you mandatorily have to undergo surgery?
Yes, yes, yes. And that is why the medical board is there. Medical board is going to screen you. So now you have also given right to someone. We don't know who is going to be in that medical board. There is no description in. There is no. The medical board is not defined in a manner as to who will be a part of that medical board, and I have to appear before them. They will screen me, and it because it the proposed changes in section 6 and section 7 clearly shows that surgeries are a necessary part of it.
So okay, now you've already said that there is nothing good in the bill and that it needs to go away entirely. So I would assume that that is your main demand, right? That the bill should go. But yeah,
It is the main demand. With regards to bill, we are very clear that it should go back as it is.
right. But recently you had a press conference also, and in that you said that if not, then it should at least go to parliamentary standing committee. So what
That's
do you want from there?
if that doesn't happen, then that possibility is there. However, the primary demand is that it should go back.
Right. Okay. And so for this, I believe you have been mobilizing support among parliamentarians, political parties, etc. Can you just tell me who all, if you've approached now, who all are the people who have already pledged support?
So the thing is that that is a part of our strategy, and I would rather not share it. However, there are parties who have extended their support. There are parliamentarians who have shown sympathy to our cause, who have extended support, and they've said that they'll discuss it and talk about it in the parliament. We have been meeting them uh, almost every day, one or two MPs, so that, and through them, we are trying to reach out to other MPs as well. So that is how much I can tell you.
Okay. And also, are you mobilizing support outside parliament? Are there, protests or gatherings, anything like that planned?
So for now, we are only limiting ourselves to reaching out to the parliamentarians, because that is where the bill has been tabled. It was tabled in Lok Sabha, and there it will be discussed, and then in Rajya Sabha. So we have been doing uh, things related to making people more aware, so that people talk about it. Protests, we don't see the need for it, because we have been able to engage people in sort of dialogue and all. And through media also we are trying to do a lot of reaching out and ensuring that the public knows what is also going on.
Yeah, so hopefully through this interview there will be some clarity as to what your objections are and why you find this entire bill so problematic. Thank you for being there. Is there anything else you'd like to add that you think has been missed?
I just want to add one thing, which is that how this bill is against what this particular government has also claimed to stand for. And we have seen that the NALSA judgment came when this government was in power, the act came when this government was there, and the rules also came then only. And we have had our prime minister also stand in the parliament and talk about uh, something which a sentiment that we also shared, which is that how India has been leading when it comes to trans rights, when everywhere else in the world there has been a lot of regression and going back. So I think that, and the language itself is against the very idea. Uh, the bill also kind of uses the language which this government has claimed to be against, which is colonial. The language itself is very colonial. It uses terms like eunuch uh, in its definition clause of transgender persons. So I feel that it is important that we understand the implications and the consequences it will have on trans lives. And I hope that people who see this, listen to this, they join the cause, they follow it, and they share it more and more.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for being here.